Sorry, I've had to do this a couple times because every time I push record, it does a lighting change and it messes with me. Um, so hi, I'm, people call me Tea Leaves. Well, that's my nickname. Um, I have something I would like to share, psychological, talking about, well, we'll just start off with depression and some of that stuff, but it goes into a whole lot more. Like I've actually come up with a different way of looking at the brain. No, no, I'm not looking to replace psychology as we know it because it does really come in handy, but maybe as another tool to help understand the brain. And it's a little different and a little similar, so just hang in there. Um, because I'm really nervous, I'm going to read from the book. I wrote it down. And I didn't actually, before doing this video, I didn't actually review what I wrote down. That's so like me. You'll find out more why that is. So I'm just going to read out of the book this first time. Also, I'm supposed to say hello to my curry cousin. I'm banned right now, but usually, don't ask. They're correct. I should have been, the banning was correct, and because the rules are the rules. Just because I want to look at things in a different way and that even makes sense to me. The fact is, it's not my site. It belongs to someone else. You have to abide by their rules. Anyway, it's not forever. I'll be back. Okay, so, but that's one of the people I talked to on the website. I used my theory to help people when I talk to them on the website. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the name of the website because we're not supposed to advertise on their website, other websites, so I don't know if it's, you know, specific. Yeah, anyway. So, so I'm not going to waste anyone's time, and so I'm going to just be direct. Some people may not like how direct I am. The other day I put a Tea Leaves Minute on the website. It's a chat room for depression and anxiety and whatever else ails you. But I had done them a few times and nobody had said anything. So good, bad, didn't matter. And then one day someone did, and their response was negative because I said, generally speaking, people of the world, blah, blah, blah. And the person was like, oh, if you're going to generalize it, I don't want to hear it because you can't just generalize us. We're individuals. Yes, we are individuals. But if I sit there and I say, all man, woman is man is woman, child is man, we'd be here for 10 hours for me just getting through that. So I just generalized it, and she didn't appreciate it very much. So anybody who's sensitive to that kind of stuff, don't listen to me because I'm going to be direct with you, or try to be. It's actually not in my nature normally to be that direct, so it's a little odd for me. Anyway, back to the book. By the way, this is the reason why I did this for the book, because I will run off on tangents. I'm already at 3 minutes, and I was only wanting to make this video like 5 minutes to 10 minutes, maybe. You see, yeah, okay. I need borders, fences. Anyway, so some people claim that they have cured their own depression, which I commend. That's awesome. But for those, for other people that can't seem to cure their depression, here's why. I do not believe that there is a cure for depression. Processes in the mind, just like riding a bike or, you know, anything else you can think of, they're not just simply forgotten. In positive and negative ways, the brain will find ways to use these processes, including depression. Yes, there is a reason for your brain to hold on to depression. And I can explain it to you, and you're going to be like, oh, that makes sense. But not yet. I'll get there. It's difficult sometimes because some of the things that I have to say are going to make people, they're going to offend some people, because it's like, you know, like, I'm going to run on a tangent for a moment, but sometimes people get offended because someone says, oh, you know, you're just making it up. You're just using that as an excuse. Well, that's true, actually. But hold on, wait. Don't stop. Don't push pause. Don't. it's not true in the way you think it is. There's another part of the brain in operation there that's kind of handling things. So, whereas it's true, it's not true for you. It's true for a part of your brain, but not for you. Anyway, oh boy, I'm going to have to redo this video. Okay, so what depression really is. So plainly put, depression is a pause button. Things in life happen that hurt and do not make sense, affecting both your emotional and your functional sides, feeling and thinking. And like a thorn, now there is an issue or a question, unanswered question. Whatever triggers it, which is sometimes right away, sometimes later, the unanswered question or thorn needs to be answered or made sense of. Notice I said need, not want. This is very, very important actually, because there are two very, very different things there about that. What is emotional is the want. You can roll with it, you can change it, it's adapt, whatever. But the functional is about need. It's not changeable. It's black and white. Fact, law. There's only one truth. There can be 50 lies, but only one truth. Just like numbers. The reason why numbers make sense to that side of the brain is because they have one value. Words can mean different things. And even though they're actually, words are functional, as I'll get into that later, they can mean different things. So, but numbers are one value. So when the thorn wiggles loose, the brain hits the pause button, sending that person into a depression until things make sense. Depression equals pause, hence why you feel like you're in slow motion, stopped, or paused when you're experiencing your depression. Just a little side note, depression is that feeling, and the anxiety is when the brain is searching for the answer. That's why you have this need to do something, anything, whatever it is. And oftentimes we end up turning to gambling or drugs, drinking, promiscuous sex, overthinking. That's a big one. That's a really big one. And it's funny because the brain, suppressed memories, I couldn't think of that word the other day. Just like the brain does suppressed memories, it's also trying to keep, sometimes, not always, sometimes trying to keep that information from you as well. So the real problem may or may not be what you're actually thinking about. The rest of that stuff, well, as legitimate as it may be, are just distractions. Yes, they're distractions. But you can tell because, number one, you run over and over and over at these thoughts in your head, but you don't do anything about it. It's one of the biggest ones. And number two is the fact that you just keep running over these same facts over and over and over again. Keeps you safe, keeps you at home in your bed. Most of the time it keeps you at home in your bed or somewhere safe, not out doing things and living life. So that's one of the ways you can tell that your brain it's trying to keep you safe, believe it or not. Depression, anxiety, those are all actually your brain's way of trying to keep you safe. It's backwards because it's not supposed to be working that way, and I can go into the whole balance and imbalance thing later. But yeah, it's a process it's actually supposed to go through. The balance, the brain being balanced and also imbalanced is just as important as being balanced, and that's because it gives you a chance to see what life is like on the other side of the tracks, to walk a mile in someone else's shoes, to do something that normally your brain would not be okay with doing, but because your brain is kind of off kilter at that moment, imbalanced, it's going to try something it normally wouldn't try. See? And that can be good or bad, as we've all found out. The reason for the imbalance, what happens because of the imbalance can be positive and negative. But the imbalance, as long as it resets itself, is a good thing. Yes, I said imbalanced. Yes. All right. Everybody's always like, it's all about balance. No, it's about both. Anyway, sorry, tangent. So here's an experiment so that you can briefly experience the pause the next time that somebody says something that doesn't make sense. So, mispronounces something or miscalculates numbers. You notice that oh so brief feeling, not the huh, But right before that, yes, it's not easy to catch this moment. It took me a while. But there's a moment right before the brain goes, huh, what? If you could freeze that moment, well, I should continue reading for the book and not just make it up. Yeah, the moment right before. That feeling, that is the pause. Freeze it and it will become depression. I know, it's like, what? No, there's no way. Yes, even that big process of depression and how it makes your brain feel starts out in this very teeny tiny little way in your brain. And it's all very natural and normal, so the brain doesn't see it as being, like when the foreign entity comes into your body and your body sends stuff out to fight it, the immune system, blah, blah, blah. It's recognized, no, bad, but these are normal processes that are not recognized as bad. That's why they happen. That's why they stay. Because the brain does, anyway, I told you there's reasons for keeping it. Anyway, okay, so, I mean, it makes sense that one process leads to another in the brain, and like emotions can start small and build from there. I'm not sure why I put that part in there. That's not, okay, so teaching an old dog new tricks is possible, but you have to find something that makes better or more sense to replace the old reasoning. So yes, it is possible to change things in the functional side, but you have to find something that makes more sense. It has better reasoning to it to replace the old fact. So, the info you already know. Oh. Also, I can agree where Freud was wrong. Wasn't going to do this one yet. Where Freud was wrong and a bit overboard. Yes. However, I can also prove how he was right. And here's where he went wrong. He stopped. He went in, but he didn't come back out. Talk about a sexual, right, comment there, right? I Freud not. Okay. I know where Freud went wrong. He stopped. Yeah, okay. For starters, I do not believe there's a... Oh, okay. Use this creative learned information. Oh, I went on for other things. Anyway, that's it for the first video. It's not 10 minutes, it's a little over, but actually that's just right for someone like me, and you'll find out why that is later if I'm brave enough and have enough courage to come back and do this again. Yeah. Nope, that's supposed to